ton of the coal tar from runoff from asphalt.
There's something funny about this. You don't run your toilet into the lake.
And there are people who just simply do not take care of their leaves.
The shoreline is getting eroded.
Fish Lake is an impaired water.
People build their house too close to the lake.
Our tax dollars are going to clean that up.
Development, as you're noting, is changing.
They don't put a holding pond in big enough to hold the water.
I certainly think you have a good point. Yeah.
You know,
we certainly have a very active citizen advisory committee for the Watershed District. They're committing to facilitate the message to their neighbors, concerns about water quality. And
property values are aligned with the clarity of the water out front. The health of the public essentially is well aligned with the quality of the lake.
I've been born and raised in Prior Lake, and I swum through some of the algae bloomed, and you know, back then well, we didn't know any difference. Just a little green hair and you get out and take a shower and that was it.
There's a high concentration of phosphorus off turf areas because of the fertilizer over the years and organic material. It tends to get into the lake pretty quickly on the backyards of people that are butted right up to the lake.
In Minnesota, you can't use lawn fertilizer that has phosphorus in it because we had so much natural phosphorus.
Instead of mowing to 2 inches, bring it up to 3.5 inches. The root structure on the grasses tend to go a little bit deeper. You're basically increasing your soil's capacity to hold water.
We're going to be collecting the rainwater from the right side of the garage. Everything that sheds that direction we'll be grabbing on the right side of this rain garden. So we are collecting about 1,700 square feet of rough space into this roughly 550, 600 square foot rain garden.
So then the berm is going to extend to this point.
So the downspouts of your house, getting about 10 feet away, directing the downspout water over to a shallow 6 to 9 inch depression that you're capturing surface water runoff from your yard and from your rooftop, and then planting it with deeply rooted vegetation can reduce the amount of water making it to the street.
3 properties which have roof runoff which will run right in down to our beach. About 20 years ago, we had a heavy rain and storm and it washed out my beach.
What he would like to do is replace a section of turf along the length of his lakeshore with native vegetation.
Doing kind of islands of filter strips of native perennial vegetation, grasses and flowers.
We're looking for some ecological functions like soil stabilization, which is dependent upon really deep and really dense root structure. There are some grasses and sedges that we have here that have over 20 miles of roots just in the first 18 inches of soil, and it goes down about 5 or 6 feet.
If you've got a really nice stand of native vegetation, of the vast majority of sediment and phosphorus and volume is taken out somewhere between 10 and 20 feet. If we were to do a lakeshore buffer strip that was averaging about 15 feet in length, this is about the space that we're talking about. It's really not too terribly much.
When water slows down, it drops a lot of its pollutants and its sediments. And to achieve that, you have to have a really high, dense stand. So it acts as sort of a linear filter. Native plants have a really high evapotranspiration ability. So you've got infiltration, soil stability, filtration, and evapotranspiration, all as the result of the plants. Another really nice benefit is it attracts things like butterflies, dragonflies, birds, and things like that. Good housekeeping, water-smart landscaping serves many functions.
I have tried to do some of it on my own with really not very good success. So I'm looking for guidance and support from the Watershed District.
We'll have to look at some things together about how you want to lay things out for access to the dock, access of the beach, where you're primarily going to be looking at the lake from, so we can get an idea of plant heights and how we want to arrange things.
Well, I do like the variation in heights.
Things that people can do on their landscape not only can serve ecological functions, water quality benefits that we can all appreciate.
And I hope to work with the Watershed District.
In a lot of places in the U.S., very strong correlation between the clarity of the lake and higher property values for lakeshore homeowners, so better resale value.